thank Joe, my buddy, who keeps me in alignment as much as possible. And anybody that's on Instagram right now, hey, join us over on Jim Hunt Official on YouTube. That's the better place to be. So disconnect from here and then move it out the other way. So I'm really not paying attention to the Instagram because I'm paying attention to us right now. So here we are, episode 10. And I've got someone that's really, really cool today because she has 2.7 million followers, man. I don't even know. I'm lucky I have 2,700 followers, and I love all of you. So thank you. But this woman goes to grave sites, cemeteries all over her area and cleans and does genealogy and this whole different thing. I am going to do a bio on her soon, but she's going to be coming on in a few minutes. But I thought, hey, we need to talk about the full moon that happened on the 5th. We need to know what's happening for a majority of you at the same time. So this full moon is really good. It helps us clear our feelings and our thoughts of the last 5 months. So what you're doing is you're walking into something unknown, probably a new job, a new relationship, new friendships, and you're already feeling overwhelmed by all of that. This is just the way the moon is working to make sure for the first time in your lives that you have somebody good in your life, okay? So that's going to be really, really cool, and it's important for you to know that kind of stuff. What I don't see and what I don't understand is lately, everyone that's reaching out to me is having a lot of problems with their personal side. We all do, but they're having a problem trying to make a decision on leaving their job and starting a new job. I know a couple of people personally who are trying to do that and become independents and work for themselves, which will make a great opportunity and give other people options to go to you to do this consulting or becoming a tax consultant or doing different things that you will enjoy. For the people that, a majority of you who don't like to work for the man, that have to work for the man, that's just a part of thing that you have to do. But do a realization of this in this month of February. Do that inventory. Write down everything that you've accomplished over the last 10 years of your life or more. Put it down and let's review it all together. Reach out to me and we'll fix it. I have the most amazing resume writer. I have someone that will work with you in Canada and the United States, and they will eventually be a guest on my show sometime at the end of the month. So we're all very busy. I really want to thank all of you for joining in on the show tonight. And we are going to do live, which is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm just trying to think of other things to say because I'm more excited about getting our guest on, Alicia. And I just want to make sure that we are following guidelines that we're looking at for ourselves, because I know I'm everywhere, but it's just that full moon is still probably affecting me. And I get the jitters right off at the beginning when I'm starting my show. It's just crazy. So I'm rambling. So now let's get ready. I want to explain our guest tonight, okay? She is Alicia Williams. She is a very busy mom of 4 kids, all in their teens. She's a genealogist, a historian, a cemeterian, which I never really read about before and tried to look it up, through gravestone cleaning and telling the stories of the deceased of the gravesite that she's been cleaning up. Lisa found emotional healing and a peaceful penance after a traumatic divorce and a custody battle with her ex, which I'm glad is over and she's winning. And everything that's happening, she's doing it to help herself to recover. I was doing a mini reading on her earlier and looking at where she comes from and what she does and some of her past lives that I hope to go through in this show. But I have a lot of questions for her because I'm very curious. And again, she has 2.7 million followers who are just learning from her. And now Alicia is also sharing what she feels. She shares a part of her life. And if she can help one person, like she said, then she feels very, very happy about that. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on our guest tonight, Alicia Williams. And Joe's going to do it slowly, just to torment me. And we're
I do it out of love. She's just joining.
Look at this. Here we are. Well, hello, Lisa.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. And yourself?
I am doing great.
I really want to thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And expressing some interest in this psychic medium somehow for you to want to try it out and see what it's all about, which was very cool. So the one big question that I had, which was, you have to explain the way that you say it because it is Greek. You're known on TikTok as Lady Taphos.
Taphos, Taphos.
Okay.
It's Greek for grave. So
Greek for grave. So what brought you to this? Where is it that you do so many different things in your life, but this brought you peace? How did this happen?
Oh, let's see. It's such a long story, but
Love story.
well, I was married. I had 4 kids, and ultimately the marriage fell apart, as some often do.
Yep.
And the ensuing divorce and custody battle was really traumatic for me. In many, many, many ways. It got really hard for me to kind of function around people. I became incredibly defensive, incredibly reactive to everything and everybody around me because of not just what I was going through there, but I was also didn't have the best childhood, but so it was just this culmination of things. I became estranged from my family, and it just became a huge struggle for me to function in a world around living people, and also adjusting to, because my divorce led us to live in different states. So I went from having my kids with me all the time as a stay-at-home mother, and then all of a sudden I'm having to share them 500 miles apart, and I realized I lost a lot of identity in motherhood also. And it was depressing. It was very depressing. And one particular summer I was really down in the dumps. So I had tried to focus. I'd always been into genealogy since I was a young girl. And I tried to kind of focus my attention on genealogy and just, distract myself from the tumultuous stuff going on in my life. And I happened, across a video of someone working on a gravestone in Jamestown, actually. And I was like, what is this? I had no idea this was a thing. And I was just completely enamored with the whole idea of restoring a gravestone. And I wanted to learn how to do like the hard work, the heavy lifting, and with, life and all the things that were going on, it was just impossible for me to get out there to learn how to do that from anyone. So I learned quickly that cleaning the stones was an easy way to get involved in the preservation of the gravestones without having any special skill. So I did a lot of research on the right things to use and bought the supplies, got permission from the local cemetery in my town. And the first gravestone I cleaned was my great-great-grandmother's sister. And it was a really exciting moment. Yeah, and I mean, it's silly, but to watch this dirty stone look clean again. And that first day I was just so thrilled. And I went back a couple of days later and see the stone is like not looking as pretty as it was. And it's like, like what's going on here? And over time, the more I did it, I realized that the cleaning process was going to take a while. It wasn't going to be an instant gratification thing. And, the whole activity kind of became very therapeutic to me and sort of a metaphorical healing of my own soul. As every stone I cleaned, I felt a little bit better. It gave me something to look forward to every day. It gave me something to get up and get out of bed for, especially when my kids weren't around.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you've made yourself quite an interesting job here. And I didn't know what D2 was until I had to look it up. I'm going, D2, that sounds interesting. What is that? So I'm assuming that you must put on seminars of some sort on how to clean a grave or do those type of things, or do you just
I have done that. And I'm always open to teaching people. It's really not that challenging.
Well, sometimes it can be, trust us.
I have done community service with high school students and taught them and helped them gain hours for their National Honor Society things. I have taught church ladies. I have, and I had the wonderful privilege of being able to travel America this summer and meet a bunch of people and help at workshops and
Absolutely
things like that.
amazing.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That sounds amazing. So a lot of my questions I know are going to be repeats on everything that you've been asked.
Oh, sure.
I'm so sorry about some of these, but I'm in a need to know basis. As much as I'm a psychic medium, there's so much that I want to learn from you. And you being this phenom and doing the things that you do, what is it that makes you happy? What is like the whole finished product, starting it or looking it up, the genealogy, because you do a family tree that is crazy, that you give permission to some, but how many trees have you done?
On Ancestry right now, I mean, oh my goodness, because that's the main database that I use. If everybody's heard of ancestry.com. I have 8 pages of family trees. I think probably 200 or 300 going on there, maybe somewhere. Maybe not all on Ancestry, but I have quite a few. Some of them get abandoned because the beauty of a small town is that eventually you connect everybody. So some of them get abandoned as I connect all of the people.
Bring everyone together.
Yes, and I try to bring everyone together. So yeah,
I might be reaching out on you for this one too, just in case. Is there a certain thing? I had something here. You went through a lot of abuse as a child as well that held you back on being connected to people, right? In a way. And
yes.
Sorry, maybe I'm reading too, but
yes, I did.
And I love walking through cemeteries.
Mm-hmm.
I love the peace and the tranquility that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
There are not, it's like human beings, there's very few dark entities in cemeteries because they want to go and create havoc to other people that are calling on them. Right. But you will have a lot of your spirits that will sit there and watch exactly what you're doing. Because I've been able to watch you on TikTok, and I can see different little shades and shadows. First of all, I thought it was the sun or the clouds. It's a beautiful sunny day with no clouds, and you actually literally have shadows gathering around you, watching you fix a grave.
Wow.
And a lot of them say thank you. A lot of them, it's like you are the head master in educating people, but all of the dead spirits are sitting around these graves watching you bring them back to life or bringing them back to feeling better about themselves or felt alone, and you're bringing them back. And this is the dead. Mm-hmm. So they love you, they respect you, and they're always watching out for you. So I wanted to give you some of that insight that you probably don't see, but you are intuitive as well. You must feel spirits around you sometimes.
I've always had an awareness, I guess, that that there's more than meets the eye, I guess. I believe that they visit me in my dreams actually more than I'm aware of them while I'm awake. So
So part of that, which is interesting, which I try and educate people with, these are more visions that you're getting from the deceased, the spirit world. They're coming to you to say thank you. They're coming to you probably like they do to me and say, could you go tell my Uncle George that I'm okay and I've gone to the light and everything's going to be okay? This is what they're probably trying to do to you too.
yeah. Maybe there are some nights where yeah, I feel like I don't sleep because I'm just
Of the activity.
there's all these people in my dreams that like I know, but I don't know. And I don't recognize them, but they know who I am. So
They do, because
Mhm.
you're leaving a spiritual um, fingerprint on everything that you do, on every gravestone that you touch. And walking in a cemetery, you're bringing in positive energy. So everyone is already talking about you before you even arrive at the next gravestone, because they listen and they go, we're gonna go see General Williams today in Virginia, and off you go. And everyone is waiting for you to show up at that gravesite. So they're all just waiting to watch you do things. So you really have to understand what you're doing from my perspective in my world is a blessing, because I don't get many of you people. You know, it's so nice to watch and to see, and they're going to give you opportunity, and they're going to give you a spiritual love that you've never felt before. They're never going to let you fall into a different world or feel uncomfortable. And what you do is you're healing the living, but I'm watching you heal the dead. You're amazing.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. That was my rant, by the way. I got so many questions here.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you are very authentic. You're intelligent with all the difficult past that you've had, and now you're giving people who were in the same situation as you, because they're starting to send you private messages and ask you questions. And I've watched you come on TikTok and give such beautiful statements, or giving people who are alive a sense of peace that they're not alone. And you, to me, are the best therapy that anybody can have. And you don't see it sometimes. And you already have helped more than just one person, Alicia. You've helped thousands. So I know you told me at the beginning that you were the crier, and that I'm okay with that. And crying is a release of emotion as well, and there's nothing wrong with it. So again, those are some of the things that I see. So your followers are just doing the authentic thing of looking at who you are and just loving you for it. How do you feel about that when you hear somebody like this crazy psychic talking like that?
Honestly, I feel awkward.
Oh, what a bummer.
Because I'm incredibly introverted and insecure in a lot of ways, and in some ways I'm not. But I struggle with seeing that side of myself, like seeing good, that I put good in the world.
The complimentary stuff.
Yes, I struggle with that quite a bit.
Okay.
So,
but we look at you that way, and that's where you're going to have to learn to start embracing that. And you are, by all means, or you wouldn't even be doing this, and you would I don't want any more of those questions, Jim. You can shut up right now. But it's truly amazing to be in the same portal as you are and watching you do what you do, because we always sit there and we look at things on a level that is completely different, or we don't accept things. And when you have the spirit world looking at you and giving you that love and attention, where so many other people are saying that there's the dark energy, they're bad, they're this, they're that, and you are bringing them together united as one family for them either to move back into the light where they belong. And these are the things that I have been seeing throughout your videos. And I've watched over 400 in the last week and a
I
half.
don't know how many there are. There's a lot.
There is. And I'm just going on the presence of what you do. But honestly, that is super cool for me just to enjoy and to watch you do your thing. Have you been approached by any TV show at all yet?
Oh, I actually think I did have, there was so much initially when this first took off for me. There was so much attention on it that I was really overwhelmed. And I did have someone reach out about a TV show and possibly doing something like that. But nothing ever came to fruition. So
Well, you never know.
never know.
There's good reality TV, and there's something that is it's not you're restoring someone's life that has gone, and you're introducing them again, and that's what people love about you, and that's what we love about you, and your honesty. And I watched you get upset, mad actually, something to do with a Confederate soldier or something.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that? Because, oh my God, if you were a politician, I'd just say, whoa, I don't want to deal with this. This is crazy. What happened in that one?
No, I always try to find something interesting to share about someone when I clean their stone. Sometimes there's not much to find. Sometimes it's a little one who barely bloomed on earth before they passed away. But this particular lady, like, I couldn't really come up with anything with her. And she married into a family that was actually, my entire county here was incredibly, like, the whole cemetery is full of Confederates.
Right.
And just to avoid the conflict, I tried to avoid sharing those and their stories too much. But this lady, I just happened to, decide, I was like, I wrote this little thing, and it was, sometimes there's nothing to say about someone's life. They were married and they had kids. And this particular lady, her household enslaved several people. And, I mentioned it in the video, and I said, when I clean these stones, I can't help but wonder if I don't sometimes tell the ugly truth of who's buried underneath there, is there any transformation really taking place at all? Like, you see this beautiful new stone, but if I'm not telling the truth of their story, even if it's not pleasant to hear, then, I'm no different than anybody else covering up the past, or, trying to.
That's what I love about you. That's the whole thing. That's what drew me to you. A lot of your little episodes on TikTok, because you speak the truth, whether we like it or not, and the controversy behind it, and you handle it so well.
Yeah, I upset some people because, this one particular person was like, oh, we've talked about this enough. And I was like, no, actually we haven't. And, from my perspective as a white woman who descends from Confederates and enslavers, that I feel like it's, and especially as a genealogist and a historian, then I have an obligation to uncover their truths and bring them up to the surface. And I don't have shame in what they did, but for me to, sweep it under the rug is not doing any different. You couldn't
have shame either for that past, because that was not you.
No, I don't have shame for it. I have tremendous, it makes me very emotional to think about what the enslaved people went through at the hands of my relatives. And I feel like in some weird way, cleaning the stones and trying my best to preserve resting places wherever possible, because there's a slave cemetery here in my county. I'm really passionate about getting preserved and fixed up. That, you know, I want them. Their names are most likely lost to time, but I want their resting places to be honored.
And I think that that's beautiful.
It's such a small way of giving their dignity back to them, some humanity back.
Actually, it's a big way of giving dignity. But that's who you are. And that is the most amazing respect that I have for you, because you grew up with a lot of adversity. You grew up with a lot of issues with family, and you've come out with 4 amazing kids, a better person, a better life, and you don't have to answer to anybody but you.
That's right. And my 16-year-old daughter, but
You
she's
know,
the best.
and I get it. You know,
she keeps me in line. I don't know what I would do without her.
my 6-year-old keeps me in line, and I'm afraid when she's going to turn 16, so that's going to be good. Is there anything that you want to share with the audience now that you've learned in the time that you've done this that is important for us to know? Is there something that you want to give us to let us know what we're not doing or what we're doing from your perspective? Because you're very knowledgeable. You know a lot of stuff. You know things. And I don't know if anybody's ever asked you that.
I don't know. That kind of puts me on the spot.
Okay, then you don't even have to answer. Is there, what is
about me, or just in general?
Oh, listen, we would love to know more about you if you ever wanted to share, that's for sure, because we want to know the woman behind the grave cleaner, you know, because that's a total sense of respect for me, just for what you do. And it gives us peace. And it, if you were doing my grandparents' gravestone, it would be just amazing. And now it gives me an idea that I need to go home from my hometown and start cleaning up my parents' area, my grandparents, because they have one plot there that there's no more room for the rest of us. So no one's going there anymore. But it should be cleaned up. But let me ask you this. What is your highlight?
My what?
The biggest highlight in doing this so far?
The peace it's brought to my heart.
It's okay. You don't have to answer.
No, it's just the peace it's brought to my heart. Like, honestly, that's the simplest answer. Like, I feel like for so much of my life, I've had so many people tell me that I'm not a good person, I'm a bad person, everybody hates me, you know, fill in the blank. That I was bottling that up and living up to their expectations. But that's not who I really was, and not who I really am. So through this, it's helped me find those parts of myself that have been hidden and buried for so long. And I feel much more settled in my heart and in my mind. And if I'm not, then I just go out and clean a gravestone or two. And it really, really does help.
But I'm assuming with your 4 children that you've given them a different outlook in life because of what you do. And you've given them the strength to persevere and not to put up with the opinions of family members or of their friends and everyone else, and to live their own life, which is what our life coach is, what I preach every day. Because as I know personally, family can be the worst enemies we ever have, and the most spiteful, and they don't get it. And I came out doing what I'm doing because this is who I am. And the disappointment for me was my family not backing me up, where you are in the same boat for other reasons, but you've come, you've grown, and you've conquered. And what I love about this is that they still don't get you.
You know, that's I guess that's the other side of it is through all this process, the last 5-6 years that I've been doing this now, realizing that I never really had that with my like it just wasn't there for me with my family. They didn't I wasn't nurtured in healthy ways. I mean, it's hard to say, but that's, part of it for me is the acknowledgement that I was severely emotionally neglected as a child.
Right.
Severely so. And I did not learn how to cope well with negative things, which is really hard when your entire home life is negativity. So not being able to cope with it, I had to learn how, my own coping thing. I read a lot. It was always about escaping. And when I realized I was never coping. I was just, trying to remove myself from the situation. And, eventually with life and circumstances, I couldn't remove myself anymore. I didn't have enough strength left anymore. I was full, overflowing.
So in the private side, did you seek out any form of therapy to help you at any time, or was that not helping you? Did you self-heal in a lot of ways? Because you certainly don't medicate.
No, I don't medicate.
Exactly.
When I was in high school, it was bad. Especially my senior year. My mother actually had me hospitalized. I tried to divulge to her some of the
abuse that you put.
It wasn't the abuse. We were in and out of court at this point, and
Yep.
I was, dealing with 16 years of trauma and abuse being uncorked. Everything that I'd been forced to hold in for my whole lifetime, it's like all of a sudden it's being forced out of me. And like I said, I had never learned. Nobody had ever shown me how to cope, how to properly deal with things in a healthy way. And I was, like, what, I feel horrible. I hate myself, like all of these awful things. And when I shared it with my mom, she had me put away it was only for a week. But in that process, they put me on medication, and I can remember like the doctor barely even looking at me, just kind of take this,
Yeah.
and I rejected that whole the whole idea of medicine. It did not take long, because I just wanted someone to listen to me and talk to me, and
Right.
and like connection somewhere. And so for many years I just kind of floundered along on my own. I made a lot of, did a lot of crazy stuff, and I'm surprised I survived those years, I'll be honest. But no, I do have a counselor now that I really enjoy, which is hard. It's hard for me, because I think when you have a family that doesn't
Understand.
treat you or your heart kindly, and that you learn not to trust even anybody. So I think that was the biggest thing for me, is being able to let my guard down enough to know that, this is okay, for me to do.
And the painful part of all of this, and how you've shared through TikTok and any other speaking engagement or shows that you've done, you give us an opportunity to say that we're not alone, and that we can get help, and that it's not always going to be pretty, but at the end of the day, when we start learning to love ourselves, it's a lot easier on our lives, it's a lot easier on our children, our new relationships and friendships, even though we stand guard at 24 hours a day.
Right. Yes.
Um, is, so when I had asked you the question, what did you get out of it? Look at, this is what you've got.
Right. I guess the biggest thing is I've come to terms with myself then.
You love yourself more.
I'm starting to like myself a little bit. Love might be a little strong for me.
Okay.
But I'm starting to like myself a little bit.
And your great grandfather says different, but that's okay.
I hope so.
So I hope that oh my goodness, I do have to ask the audience to ask questions. I forgot because I was so enthralled in what we were about. Would you? No, don't be sorry. This is amazing, and we can compose ourselves here. Joseph, the audience have any questions for Alicia?
They do.
Why didn't you interrupt me and just say, Jim, can you just?
No. All right. So, what is the oldest gravestone you've seen or worked on?
Oh, the oldest gravestone I've seen. The oldest ones that I've seen were in New England, 17th century, 1630s, 40s, somewhere in there. So actually, I'm trying to remember the name of the people who were buried there. It was actually America's first mass murder victims. So that's one of the older ones that I've seen that stands out to me. One of the oldest ones I've cleaned. We don't have a lot of super old ones here in Bedford, Virginia. The oldest ones that I've cleaned here date back to around 1820. But I have cleaned some a little bit older when I was up in New England a couple of summers ago. So nothing too specific, but yeah, I think the oldest gravestone in America is at Jamestown. It's the Knight's Tomb. So it's Governor George Yardley.
That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Any next question?
Jim, was that a beer that you were? What was that you were drinking?
No. Canada Dry ginger ale. Okay?
Sure. I'll even do the sniff check after.
Exactly. Sorry, crew.
All right.
Dry when I'm talking. So
we'll do one more. This is a two-parter. Who was the most famous grave you've cleaned, and who was your favorite?
Oh, the most famous grave. I don't know that I've cleaned anybody famous. No, I really don't think I have cleaned anybody famous, only locally famous. Infamous, I have a few of those. And my favorite is, it's really hard to say because like I love them all and I'm super protective of them all. I think my favorite one is the first one I cleaned, and that would be my great great grandmother's sister, my Aunt Hattie. She's buried alone in the cemetery, even though there's a bunch of distant relatives around her. She's by herself. Everyone else in her family's buried in another county. But she was kind of lost to the family for a while. Nobody knew exactly where her grave was for a long time. So I think she's in her stone, and there's nothing fancy about it. It's pretty plain and simple. But I think that's always going to be my favorite one. I do have another favorite one, and that would be the lady I affectionately call Miss Lucy, who happens to be buried with her former enslavers. And I always keep an eye out for her and make sure her stone is nice, and have a quiet moment at her stone whenever I can.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting me to want to drive towards you or fly to you with a spirit box, have a conversation with you, and see who would be joining us while you're doing the grave. I think that you videotape that and make a show out of it.
That would be fun. Yes.
I think it would be fun.
Yes.
And because spirits show up at any time of day, the idea
Yeah.
that it has to be dark with a full moon for somebody to show up is so wrong. And I love educating people because they're around us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Right.
Just ignore them because we're so busy. So, and when you're doing a cleaning the grave during a beautiful sunshiny day, like I said, you've got hundreds watching you do what you do.
Well, I mean, I'm glad to give them some excitement. It's had to have been pretty boring there for a long time.
And you were tired of listening to tractors and lawnmowers.
Yeah.
They, they needed,
Yeah.
they needed that new excitement. What's that? That's a scraping noise. Let's go look. And where's that D2? Does it sweep the grass? So do you have anything special on your website or anything of the kits that we can purchase from you? Is there something like that?
Well, it's not my website, but I always tell people to go to atlaspreservation.com. They are my supplier, and they are a family business. They are phenomenal, the best customer service. They have all kinds of things related to preservation and restoration, not just gravestones, but they do sell gravestone cleaning kits, a bunch of different sizes. You can get the D2, you can with brushes and scrapers, or you can just buy them a la carte if you want to. But I can't say enough good things about them. They have always taken really good care of me, and they're just wonderful, wonderful people. So yeah, it's atlaspreservation.com.
So we'll remember that because I'm going to have to reach out to them to find out if we have a Canadian version of that.
I know that they do ship to Canada, so
Oh,
and
perfect.
they're based out of Southington, Connecticut. So
Oh, wow.
yeah.
That'll be really cool. What was the other? I was going to ask you something else. Now I forget. And that's my fault because I was more into what you were saying. Is there something that you don't like about your audience?
No, actually, I don't. Well, every once in a while, I get comments from people who think I don't know what I'm doing. And, that's okay. I mean, a lot of times it's just someone who is concerned that, hey, you're going to mess it up. And, it's like, no, I'm not going to mess it. But really, I am grateful for every last one of the millions that I have following me. It's
Just still phenomenal.
they're just, I can't believe that still. It's kind of strange, but I'm grateful for all of them because, whatever put me on this path, my special person likes to remind me that everything bad that happens holds within it the seed of something of a greater equivalent benefit. So you can take something bad and grow something good. So I like to think that my followers are just, more flower petals to my pretty plant that I've grown out of all of this. So, and I'm very grateful for them. And yeah, I wouldn't change it.
Well, I want to thank you for joining me on my show, and I hope that you can be a guest or a regular.
I would love to.
And we can talk about specific things and
yes,
maybe talk about famous graves that we might go looking at and
yes,
put them on air and talk about it. But I love the idea that the genealogy side of you as well. You're a historian. So there's a lot of things that you can offer us, maybe that put us at ease, because I'm looking at my own ancestry and it's difficult because nobody wants to share. So
yeah, sometimes it's a challenge, but it's like a treasure hunt.
Well, I want to thank you very much for being on my show, and I'm hoping that we do meet again. Yes. And it was such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here to meet you.
And you and I will be talking either during the week or whatever, because you and I need to arrange this session.
Okay, that sounds good.
I'm so looking forward to it because I have so much information for you. It's unbelievable. But it's so private that it has to stay private. And
Okay.
you decide to talk about it.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. So we'll set a date on that one too.
Okay, good.
Thank you so much for being on tonight.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that's amazing. So we're going to let you go. You can hang on in the room and we can talk in about 15 minutes, or I can reach out another day and you can go about your business if you need
All
it.
right.
All right?
All right. Thank
So
you.
thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank
take
you
care.
so much. You too.
Thank you, Alicia.
Bye.
Bye now.
Jimbo,
Hey, Joseph.
that was awesome.
You're the voice over here. And it's just like, what? There's a ghost in this room.
Hopefully, it's the voice of reason. Who knows what you're saying in the background?
Yes, we need the voice of reason here, but Ria's not available right now. So
That's right, Ria. All right, so we have two guests lined up for reading.
Perfect. Yep.
We're going to start with Courtney first.
Courtney. Okay. Do I know a Courtney?
I don't think so.
No. This is going to be cool. So I got to get myself a little pen here
Sure.
and be prepared for this. And I've got a whole bunch of notes from people saying they loved her. That's
Yes.
awesome. I love that. I had another psychic just say that she wants her on her show now, and she'll ask better questions. She's rude. Yeah. All right, I'm ready. And it's going to be Courtney. I love Courtney. Let's go. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, look at this. Hang on, Courtney. Do we have you? Go ahead. Oh, we're waiting for the audio.
There we go.
Right, there we go.
Hi.
Courtney,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm okay. You?
I'm awake and alive and got a pulse. Things seem to be working for me today.
Oh, that's good.
So what question have you got for this guy today?
I don't know. I'm still a little unsure because I've never done anything like this.
Oh, well, there's a first. Look at that. What's your birth date, Courtney?
June 23rd, 81.
Okay. So you're this cusper. So you're cusp between the Gemini and the Cancer. So your creativity side should be really cool. And there's a strong creative sense to you. But the Gemini side of you is saying that you don't have enough balance. You stress out about all the wrong things, and all the good things that come to you, you're ignoring them lately. You should have been in a form of education for some reason. What do you do for a living?
I work in a women's shelter.
Oh, congratulations. And so thankful that we have people like you to help us. That's amazing. I'm so glad that you help us. I want to let you know that in the year 2023, that opportunity for an advancement or going to a different center is going to happen sometime around August or September of this year.
Okay.
You're being recognized for your talents, but you need to start speaking up a little bit more. You do not say a word. And that needs to change, Courtney. And I bet you your partner's just probably ribbing you right now saying, yes, that's true.
Busted. True.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You're very blessed, Courtney, with this person that's beside you on the couch who loves you unconditionally. He believes in you, and that's why you're believing in yourself. And sometimes he has the right words to say for you to move forward. And you both did meet in a past life before, except it was opposite roles.
Out of the box.
So he was the woman who was a farmer, and you were a mayor of a town. So that was pretty interesting. So you have a lot of conviction. You do not like politics, but you have to play the game. But there's opportunity that you're not looking at. So if you start looking at yourself and looking at everything that you've done over the last 3 years, you need to make a voice for yourself. And as soon as you do that, we're going to start listening. The Cancer needs to speak up because because you have this cusp, you're not a moody Cancer. He might differ because he's a big baby.
That's true, but I'm not.
But you are a take charge in a silent way, which is going to work for you in the long run anyway. And if you don't make these changes, it's just going to take you a little bit longer to get to your goal. But there's a lot of new friendships even to start. And the one that you lost last year, I think, didn't deserve your time.
Wow.
And it's the truth. And you feel guilty about it still, which is the empathic side of you. And don't, because you were the doormat and you don't need to be the doormat. So
Wow.
the sadness out of that will release. You're going to grow from this. And it's just, your life's about to take major positive changes. And your partner over there, does a lot of numbers or something?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm an underwriter, so I just analyze numbers all day long.
Is that what it is? Dude, start becoming your own boss. Get the hell out of there. What are you doing? You can make more money doing something else instead of doing what you're doing right now. You're procrastinating because you think that it's easier if you work for somebody you don't have to do and worry about things. You will be so good and such under demand that you won't be able to keep up. And you can retire in 8 years instead of 15. And that's the truth. I just had to give him shit because he always gives everybody else shit, right? Is there anything else that you would like to know before we have to move on to the next one?
Does it have to be stuff of the future?
No, it can be anything. This is what I do, past, present, and future.
I've always wanted to know how my grandmother's doing.
A little bit mixed up here. She passed away unknowingly, in a way. There was a delay in her passing. And when she did pass away, she stuck around on the earthly planet for a very long time before she was pulled into the light by her mother, your great-grandmother. And she was pulled in by her reading a book, and I don't know what book, because there has to be something about you, Courtney, and reading books. So your grandmother's fine. She's in the light, and she's relaxed, and she's chill. And you don't have to worry about her, she said.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And tell that man to go into business for himself or book with me and I'll freaking straighten them up just for us.
Okay. Thank you.
I hope this was informative enough.
It was. Thank you.
You take care and I hope you have a great 2023 and your birthday's coming up. Just enjoy.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Joseph?
Jim, honestly, I watched these and my jaw is open. Then I realize my jaw is open when I'm watching, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm just smiling while you're doing these readings.
Well, no, it's a lot of fun. And there's certain things that the spirit guides want to come out with an answer because she was still very obviously quite upset about that person that she's now no longer a friend with. But to be used by somebody is not fair either, right? So she did the right thing. And she moved on. And that's the first brave thing that she's done in years. So that's awesome.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. We have one more guest for tonight. Her name is
Okay.
Nicole. And I will bring her in now.
All right. Let's talk to Nicole. I like that ding dong thing. We got to change that on Zoom somehow and just say, hello, we're here.
Ding dong.
Hello.
There she is.
Well, look at this. Look at this smile. I love smiles, by the way.
How are you?
How can I embarrass you that quickly? Come on.
No, not embarrassed. Nervous, I guess you could say.
Nervous. Okay, well, Don't be nervous. This is going to be a lot of fun, Nicole. I need to tell you right off the bat, you have this man beside you who says he misses you, loves you, and adores you, and that everything is okay, and that your anxiousness will start to be released because you're letting go of a lot of things from your past. And everything is going to be okay for you. He's the one who makes your water colder when you drink it because you have something with cold water. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It is weird for me. Cold water? That's freaky. I can't drink that cold water. Just I pee myself. Never mind. Okay, Nicole. Who's your partner over there? What are they doing? Just watching you?
Yeah, he's sitting on a couch.
It's just like, what? What's your birth date, please, Nicole?
It's October 20th, 1987.
Oh, wow. Okay. What's your partner's birth date?
October 19th,
That's right. There we
1991.
go. What year?
91.
91. Okay. Ready for this. All right. So the both of you were supposed to meet a long time ago, but there were doors of conflict around both of you at a time where I think you knew each other, but you weren't allowed to know each other for some strange reason. I don't know what that means, but that's what I'm being told. Or you were being held back. For you, you're the stronger cusper because as the scorpion side of you that's coming out, you're very difficult for people to understand you because you play this poker face and we don't know what to do with you next. So, you know, we're always trying to wonder, is she a police officer? Is she doing something? What is she doing? Like there could be an authoritarian side to you and such a big temper too. Right, October 19th?
He said yes.
Okay. For you, you've been waiting 9 years for a positive change in your life, something new to come. And it's been a while. And then you started feeling better after this last birth date, saying that I am making those changes. And you just got an idea or something that came together in the last couple of weeks. So whether it's changing your way of living, moving in a different direction, or having a better opportunity, Libras, I'm a Libra, so that's why I know enough about us.
Mhm.
And you are going to be coming out smelling like a rose by early September this year. During the month of Virgo, everything comes together for you. Everything. So before your birth date, you get a final answer and everything will move forward. Is there a purchase of a new house or something?
No, not that I can think of.
There's something new in the purchase of a home coming up or being offered to you.
Oh,
Did you lose a father or is he still alive?
my father is still here.
Okay, I don't know this male figure who's so excited to be around you. I really don't.
My question would be if it's my father's father.
He tells me that he used to sit in the car and wait for people to drive him somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what he was just telling me. He misses all of you. And your father has to calm down and he has to watch out for his heart. Sorry, I have to repeat what they're saying as quickly as I can say it.
Yeah.
What part of the country are you in?
Mississauga in
Oh, wow.
Ontario. Yeah.
We're neighbors. What do you do can I ask what you do for a living? Because that's changing.
Yep. I work for a structural steel company. I run a division.
Oh, there. Okay. So you are going to be pulled towards, I know it's going to sound crazy, towards Alliston or further west in Ontario. And I don't know why. Maybe even Windsor. No one wants to go to Windsor. Sorry, Windsor. Sorry. We all know Windsor. But you're going to be pulled towards that with great opportunity. So be prepared for that over the next year, no longer than 15 months from now. So it's going to be really cool. That October 19th person, okay, 11 years he's been waiting for change, 11 long years. And he's procrastinated because that's the Libra side of him, because he's not influenced by Scorpio at all. He's influenced by Virgo, which is always the analytical side. It has to be this way. It has to be the numbers. It has to be right. Black and white doesn't work any other way. And he has to have everything in rules. Everything has to be written out, triplicate, and then he's going to be happy. I can't imagine him buying a car. Actually, a truck, maybe.
Sorry.
It's true, right?
He's laughing because he knows it's true.
But the best thing about both of you, you're both loyal.
Mhm.
And you never will lose sight of each other. This is a connection that was supposed to be made for both of you.
Mhm.
And he worries more because your smile is captivating to other people. And he's not jealous. He's just going, why are they paying so much attention to her? I have other things to say too, you know.
I'm waiting for his reaction. I don't see one.
But I'm pleased when I see this because I don't see it very often. You two are stuck together for life, so enjoy it.
Good. He's not getting rid of me anytime soon. So
No, not at all. Not at all. Is there any other question that you have for me, Nicole, tonight?
no, I guess I was just waiting to see what kind of came through in terms of our future and whatnot. So
This opportunity that the two of you have when you both work together, it really does come together. And it's not that your mind melts together, but you know what each other likes. You could have difficulty with some of his cooking though, because I think it's too salty or something. I don't know why. There's something. What is his nationality? What is his background? I'm very curious.
he's Italian and Hungarian.
Welcome, Hungary. Yes, I'm Hungarian native Sioux Indian. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So he should always learn to feel entitled and not allow somebody to talk him down. That's the only thing he has to learn. He shouldn't worry about what other people feel and think, even though I've been telling him. And opinions should mean absolutely nothing to him. And you too, Nicole, because you allow that to happen quite a bit, and you can be a real tough nut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, this was an honor to have you on the show and talk to you, and I hope you enjoy your week and have a great time.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
I hope we do a reading one day, because there's a lot more about you that we can't share on the air because it's not right. But it's
All right.
good. There's nothing negative. Promise.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Enjoy the rest of the winter, because I certainly won't. I hate winter.
Me either. We're in the same boat.
All Libras, let's leave.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Take care, Nicole. Thank you so much.
You as well. Thank you.
All right, bye now.
Bye.
Well, guys, that was two. I'm thinking we're going to have another guest, and then we're going to have an open mic maybe sometime during the end of the month, where we don't need a guest, but I want to do all of these readings because we all seem to have a lot of fun with it. I get a lot of emails from all of you saying, I really want to get on the show. I'd like to do this and ask questions. I really would like to do that. I do have some exciting news. I am going to be doing a recording very soon in May. That is something that I've always wanted to do, and it's going to be exciting, and working with a couple of producers, and I still can't talk about it until they say it's okay to talk about it, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's what I'm made to do in my lifetime. So this will be great, and it's going to be an honor to do that show. I want to thank everyone who joined us. I want to thank to everybody the listenership, in the sense that I look at the numbers and I don't care if I have one or 100 listeners. the amount of listeners is that you want to hear what we have to say, and I want to thank you all. Comments are always welcome, good, bad, or indifferent. It's what we learn from. It's constructive criticism, opinions, and if they're mean or rude, you're going to get deleted because that's not what we're looking for. Everybody should get along and everybody should be loved. I want to thank you again. Joe, thank you. Every day, every time, this Joe, this magic man, puts everything together for us and we have so much fun. So on behalf of Joe, myself, our families, we wish you a great family week next week and just enjoy. May the sun shine on you all the time. Take care, everybody. Thank you. Oh, follow me on, Joe's going to get mad. Follow me on Instagram, Jim Hunt Official, TikTok, Jim Hunt Official, my website, jimhuntofficial.com. And if there's anything else that I missed, just Jim Hunt Official. Have fun, everybody. Take